Survivor is back. By God, am I excited for this to return to our screens. It really has felt like an eternity, and I am so pumped for it now it has been confirmed to come back to air. Now, within Season 41 of Survivor, there may be the odd change here and there to the standardised format, one of which is a shortened season. So today at Analytical Strategy, I just want to focus on how I anticipate the reduction of days from the usual 39 days down to what I believe will be 26 days will change how the game is played and how strategies will be implemented. Now, with Survivor running for 40 seasons to date, and outside of Season 2 The Australian Outback, Survivor has been a 39-day game. With Season 41 lessening this by 13 days, which is a third less of the total days we are used to seeing, we have to note that this could change the way the game is played to a larger extent than we may think. A big reason I think this is the case is the comparison between days played between US Survivor and Australian Survivor, and how this has impacted the way the game has been played between these two formats. Now, with Australian Survivor being a 50 to 55 day game, this has resulted in big move type players being targeted and going home much earlier than what we have seen in US Survivor. People who turn on their alliance or core group in Australian Survivor have often put targets on their back too early to recover from, and in turn has resulted in their game's demise. Due to this, I almost view US Survivor and Australian Survivor as two pretty unique games from one another, and you would have to adjust to each of them accordingly in order to succeed. So in direct correlation with this, I think you will also have to adjust when there are also less days in the game. So how will this change in a reduction of days impact the strategy of this upcoming season? I will get to those possibilities in just a moment. Firstly, I think we need to understand how the show will be formatted with this lessened amount of days before delving into potential strategies. Now obviously this is all just speculation, but we can make educated guesses based on the structure of previous seasons on how Survivor 41 may look. We generally see Survivor played in 3-day blocks, with rewards, immunities and tribal councils occurring within these 3-day periods. So contestants are generally being voted out on day 3, then day 6, day 9, etc. Now if we are losing a third of the days total, it is highly likely this is going to shift to 2-day blocks, with reward immunity challenges almost always being combined, and therefore resulting in limited downtime at camp with that extra day missing per tribal. So within 2-day blocks, I'm speculating contestants will go home every second day instead of every third. So one additional question is, how will production further aim to limit vast changes to the standardised structure and format without it impacting the game too much? One thing that has been revealed is they are dropping down from 20 players back down to 18 players, with the game starting with 3 tribes of 6. One thing that could also potentially happen at the start of the season is we may still see the game played in 3-day chunks for say the first 2 tribals, and then later in the season there may be tribal councils every day rather than every second day once contestants are more familiar with one another. There also may be a couple of double tribal councils due to these lesser days, which while I hope isn't the case, I wouldn't rule it out overall. Now after this speculation on how this season may be structured, let's get back into how this may affect the strategy of the contestants. I can really see it going one of 2 ways. The first is it's going to be balls to the wall, lots of flip-flopping and lots of the big move era gameplay being seen. I see this as it could be basically the opposite of Australian Survivor. As there are more days in Australian Survivor, players need to lay low to lower their threat level to make it further in the game. But if there is a reduction of the number of days in the game, it gives the opportunity for players to play harder at a lower risk, as there is less time to make counterattacks against you compared to previous seasons. But on the contrary, I think due to there being less time in the game, there is also less time to set up higher level strategies, so this may result in a more older school format of core alliances staying stronger than recent modern Survivor seasons. With there being less downtime at camp, this in turn gives less opportunity to strategize, and therefore less of a chance to indeed flip-flop and change the vote. Now overall, obviously it will highly depend on the players playing as it does in every single season of Survivor, and some players may try to take advantage of a lower number of days in the game, while some may require to play at a slower pace with less time to socialise. But either way, I think the reduction of days in the game will really play a big impact on how this season plays out. And in turn, if Survivor continues to play with fewer days, it'll also shape how the game is played in future seasons. We will soon learn if people are able to go harder than usual, or if time just doesn't allow that to happen. Social game especially is limited when tribe swaps and merges occur, so for that reason I wouldn't at all be surprised if original tribes do stay more solid in this upcoming season. But one factor which will remain the same is the unpredictability of the game. A large portion of the game will obviously also highly depend on the amount of advantages production puts in place, and whether the use of fire tokens will remain and how they are used without the Edge of Extinction in play. These components also play major roles on how seasons are shaped. I'll be really interested to see what adjustments to fire tokens are made, and if they are used differently with no Edge of Extinction in play. They may by default change how Survivor is played in the future if they are here to stay for future seasons. The other side of the coin to the strategic and social game is also the survival and camp life aspect. These players are going to have it so much easier than ever before. They won't lose anywhere near as much weight, they won't suffer as much from exhaustion, and from day one, the finish line is much closer in sight. So challenge performance as well should be higher from a physical and mental aspect throughout this season. To me, it is extremely interesting to think about how all these variables can alter how Survivor is played moving forward, and I do really look forward to seeing how it all shapes out. And for me, in conclusion, while I think a reduction in days from 39 to 26 days will impact the game from a social and strategic standpoint, I am more than anything just really pumped that it is this close to coming back to our screens. I really hope we still get the same amount of episodes within Season 41 as we have previously, which I really do think we should, given there has been 18-person cast before. We must remember that usually there is a lot of dead time on the island that we as viewers do not see, so from a viewer perspective things may not appear to change as much, given these components are generally edited out. But from a game perspective, I do think this will have a greater impact than it may appear on the surface, and this will be further unravelled over time. Let me know how you think the strategy will play out this season. Would you be more aggressive, or do you think it will promote more loyalty within original alliances? Let me know down in the comments. I also look forward to breaking down the cast once it has been fully revealed, and providing more updates on expectations of this season in the future. So if you do like what you have heard today, please hit that subscribe button to assist in this channel's growth. It really does enable me to push out more content in the future. Thanks a bunch for watching and supporting the channel. This is Analytical Strategy, and we are signing out once again. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.